So the Price of Salt, the novel's original title, was published in 1952. And I just wondered if you could tell us a bit about the initial public reaction to the book. Was there much else out there that dealt with this kind of subject matter at the time, or was it quite bold in a way?
Well, I mean, it was published as I think it was a Black Cat paperback original. I have it, the first edition. And I think it got quite respectful press at the time of its publication, but it wasn't a major publishing event. And I think I remember Pat Highsmith herself telling me that she was surprised to start getting, a year after publication, she started getting letters, a fair stream of them, a few a week, building up to quite a lot a month, of women writing to her from everywhere saying, thank you for writing this book. I'm not sure she thought she had done anything extraordinary in just portraying lives as we would ordinarily lead them. But she came to realize that it meant quite a lot to particularly a lot of young people.
And these were letters that were addressed to her pseudonym rather than to Patricia herself, I guess, at the time.
Yeah, Claire Morgan, I think, was the pseudonym. Yeah.
Now, at the Cannes Film Festival, the film was nominated for the Palme d'Or, and it won Best Actress for Rooney Mara, and it also won the very prestigious Queer Palm as well. Mm-hmm. And at the time, when the jurors were awarding it, they said it was the first time that a love story between two women was treated with the respect and significance of any other mainstream cinematic romance. I suppose, why has it taken so long? I don't want to be too negative about that, but just...
I don't know. I think that because there are so few... Well, are there any mainstream? Have there been? Forgive me, I can't think of... Perhaps there's one, but there have been quite a few other, say, in real indie... micro-budget indies and all that. And I think because the opportunities are so few and far between that a lot of people have probably felt that you've got to throw everything, throw it all in and end up perhaps with films that address fewer people than you'd like them to because they're issue-based. Not to say that that isn't necessary, but I think what's taken all this time is just to have someone in the mainstream, anyone, come to the conclusion that that's not necessary in order to have a successful, even moderately successful film about lesbians. I mean, you've had them for gay men, I suppose.
We have Brokeback Mountain, I suppose.
That ends badly too,
yes, exactly,
doesn't it?
But it's not.
Well,
it's a tragedy, isn't it? I guess it's still,
yeah.
It was a mainstream film, but like you said, this is really a love story, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is a love story that's allowed to be a love story, not having to carry the burden of the entire gay people.
I mean, there are obstacles, but they're not struggles with sexuality.
That's right. Yeah. And the people around them are allowed to be people too, which I think is also unusual. We didn't make this movie under a studio where there are also particular constraints and such, so it's probably all around a happy coincidence that the right group of people at the right time came together to get it made.
Yeah, just finally, could we talk about Cate Blanchett and Rooney Mara inhabiting those characters that you created from Patricia's novel? Yeah.
From the moment they started shooting, I thought, well, okay. I cannot imagine two people being more perfectly attuned to each other, first of all, and two actors who are so generous and enabling of each other in a complementary way. They're not warring against each other, and I mean that artistically. They have very different sorts of styles, and they found this intuitive way to work together to make each other's performances shine. And that, I think, is what is at the root of the chemistry. I'm sure they didn't sit around talking about it, but it's just there.
Phyllis Nagy, thanks very much for joining us on Gaydio Breakfast.
Thank you.